What's going on, guys? This is your boy CD Trades, and today is January 28th, and this morning was a lot of mixed news. It had orange, yellow, and also red. So I didn't trade until I believe around like 9:40 to 10 o'clock. I think I traded at like 9:50 at the macro time, the 9:50 to 10:10. Anyways, right here, as you see, this is all the news that was today on January 28th. All right, we're going to go to the charts. So on the charts, I started at, I believe I started marking up the charts when I got on like 9 o'clock, 9:10. So I like marking up the 8:30 open. So when I marked up the 8:30 open, as we see right here, so it bought up first, then it went down, right? And then I also like to mark up the midnight open as well. So the midnight open was right here, as you guys can see. Make it a little bigger. All right, as you guys can see, the midnight open. All right, so we're gonna scroll all the way to the right. Where was 9:30? All right, so news at 8:30 was orange candle, right? So price went down. Price ended up going down. Like I said, I didn't trade this. So once at 9 o'clock started happening, I started to mark up my charts. So I went back and say, hey, what can I see on the charts? So I ended up seeing at 8:41. I marked up this SIBI right here, right? Sell side, efficiency, buy side. So I marked it up inverse. And look, price kept hitting it over and over and over. But I didn't want to catch the sell because all the times that I got funded, I was always catching the trade, doing FOMO, basically fear of missing out. And a lot of times I got lucky, right? But that's not really trading. It's me just getting in the market because I see, oh, there's a possibility because it's selling all day today. Let me continue selling to see if I could capitalize on it, right? And I profited from a lot of challenges and got funded. But at the end of the day, I wasn't really trading. I had no patience. I always was able to get the fundeds, but I wasn't able to keep the fundeds and get my first payout. So now I've just been taking my time, patience. I know how to trade now, right? I just need my patience, and that's what I've been working on. So we wait till 9:30. So this was the 8:30. I'm sorry. Let me remove this. Let's go this. All right, so this was the 8:30 area right here, right? 8:30 here, and then 8:41 when I marked out the inverse. It started because we had so much news. Yes, it was respecting it at first. Look how the medium, right? The COE was getting respected. The middle of this inverse was getting respected until these two candles took out the buy side and then started selling. Went back up into it, started completely selling again, right? And this was, let's see, the 9:30 open. All right, the 9:30 open was right here. I like to mark out the open range gap. So let's go to the 9:30. It's around here. Yeah, 9:30. So this was yesterday, 4:14. Right? The close of this was up here. And then 9:30, it was right here. So it really was nothing, right? So I didn't have to mark up the opening range gap today, which I like to use the first 30 minutes. So go back to the electronic trading hours. I wait after 9:30. We start at 9:31 to see the first fair value gap. So the first fair value gap is right here, as you guys see. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see. All right, so the first fair value gap is right here. So I'm gonna mark it here, the top of it, and then the second candle I'm also gonna mark right here as well, because why? There's no volume imbalance, so that's the reason why I'm marking like that. So usually price will give you a few chances to get in before it disappears without you, right? Before it runs off. And this time it only did one candle. Once I missed it, I was waiting for a retrace right here, but I didn't end up getting it. So I waited for the market to come back into it, never did. Excuse me. And price came back into this FVG right here, right? This CB. And I was like, yo, you know what? I'm not gonna rush into it. I missed the sales. Let me see if we're gonna have a turtle soup and we're gonna reverse sooner or later. So what I did, let's see my markup. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see the markup. All right, so price continues going down, and this was today's first presented fair value gap, and this was on Monday's fair value gap, right? So what I did was I waited. And I thought price was gonna go to the midpoint of the first presented fair value gap and continue going and then reverse, but it ended up going to the bottom of that first value gap from yesterday's, and then ended up going up, right? So price was going up, but do I know if it's going to buy? Do I know if it's gonna continue to sell, right? I don't know if it's gonna be retracing or not. So I'm just being patient. So price ended up taking these highs right here. All right, so let's go to S&P to see what I saw earlier. $930. I should have marked this as well, so it'll be easier to find it. Okay, so I found it. This is the no SMT right here. I thought I saw it earlier, but I didn't. So I see price ends up going and taking buy star, right? It went above, so it went above the first presented fair value gap and went up, and it created a what? A BISI, right? So buy side efficiency. So it went up, and I waited for price to go straight back into it again. So I waited for it. So price ended up going to this BISI. So let me mark it up for you guys here. And look how it never went to the bottom. The wick did damage, so let me make sure you guys can see. The wick did the damage, but we ended up respecting it, right? Bodies never closed below it. Let me fix it up a little bit. All right, we never end up going below it to close any bodies. So I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. But what happened is I missed that part up because I went to the bathroom. My TP was right here. This was my terminus. Let's mark it out. What's going on? Yo, that's crazy. I can't spell today. All right, this is my terminus, right? Because I didn't know if we were going to retrace. So I went to the bathroom. It only took 8 minutes for this trade. So where I got in, as you guys could see, was here. So I try to time it when price. I want you guys could see. Let me make it a little bigger. All right. I tried to time it in the blue box, which is the top of the fair value gap with the BISI. Ended up getting a bit above it. Price draw down just a little bit to almost the top. Didn't even touch it, almost to the top of the FVG, and then started soaring. I had three contracts, micros of course. Got in here. Sorry, I stopped right there. Middle of this and stop right here. All right, 81 points in 8 minutes. So I got in this candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right, 81 points. So and then my stop, I had my stops right here. All right. Look at that. 1 to 6. It was a beautiful trade. And I was barely in drawdown, right? I got up there, a little bit of drawdown right here, and then automatically just started going to that terminus right away, where I didn't want to be greedy. I could have continued and put my terminus here. I just wanted to get the low-hanging fruit, which is right here, and price went on top. Grabbed that, retraced a little bit, and continue going up even further. So it was a great trade. It was a lot of patience, which is great. Taking my time and not rushing. If I missed the move, I missed the move. I'm going to wait for the turtle soup. Or if I don't see what I'm looking for, then I am going to what? Not take a trade. Well, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.